Is hockey getting too fancy? Are sports losing their fun? We attack the curmudgeons of the sports world, plus look ahead at the final few games of the Wild's regular season. And Richfield's own Meredith Lang's impact on diversity in hockey has caught the eye of the National Hockey League as the mother of two was named a finalist for this year's Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award. As always, we're created by New Voice Studios, presented by SotaStick, brought to you by Jim Beam, BettorEdge, and Royal Credit Union. This is Season 3, Episode 121.
Marcus Foligno Fan Club assemble! Not only is SotaStick.com the only place to get your official Marcus Foligno Fan Club tee, but it's also the only place to get all your favorite Wild team garb, plus so much more beyond hockey. Use code Bardown Beauties for 15% off your total purchase at SotaStick.com.
At Jim Beam, they know the importance of tradition, like chanting "Let's play hockey" prior to the start of each game, or playing the state of hockey anthem after a Wild win. This season, raise one to your fan family with the bourbon that invites us all to come as friends and leave as family. Jim Beam Bourbon Whiskey, the official bourbon whiskey partner of the Minnesota Wild and XL Energy Center. Remember, drink smart. Jim Beam Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, copyright 2021, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Incorporate, Claremont, Kentucky.
From New Voice Studios.
Oh yeah, you betcha. Let's go to the boat.
Discombobulate on the spot.
Part of the Talk North Podcast Network.
Fly out to Russia personally.
Jesse Pierce.
This is off the rails. We're only a couple minutes in.
Alexis Pearson.
We're not going to throw batteries on the ice at, Kirill Kaprizov. We're not that crazy.
Bardown Beauties Podcast.
Was it about guys getting hammered down low night after night?
Everyone loves to crap on analytics, but the analytics do not lie here.
We are firing Fred at the top of the hour. More hit. It's like tea.
Starts now.
Hello, everybody. We're back. What's up? Episode 121. Let's go. I want to dive into the cranks. Alexis, this is Alexis Pearson. I'm Jesse Pierce, by the way.
And Fred's back.
And Fred's back. Hey, what's your shirt say, Fred?
It says work hard and be nice.
Yeah, write that down, everybody.
Write that down. Work hard, be nice. Let's be nice, because I want to talk about the people that are being mean to the Minnesota Timberwolves, people that are being mean to the Trevor Zegrases of the world. Also even being mean to the Ryan Hartman's Venmo for trying to steal Ryan Hartman's money. We don't like it. Alexis, what is your take on, let's start with the Zegras stuff, right? We talked about it last week a little bit. You see a kid out there doing the Michigan, which I want to rename, by the way. Why don't we just call it lacrosse goal? The Zegras goal. But for whatever reason, players having fun, and you can loop in the Timberwolves, right? Celebrating a play-in win. Players having fun just gets these old, and I say old crusty men because that's what it seems to be, all up in arms about it. Like I'm over it.
So first of all, if you don't like lacrosse goals being scored against you, play better defense. If you don't like the Wolves celebrating, maybe consider winning the game instead. If you're the LA Clippers, I have no problem. I mean, as long there's a line, right? Like you can't go off and start spewing, F you and F this and F that once you win, right? But
act like you've been there.
Act like you've been there, but be excited, have fun, enjoy it. Sports are supposed to be fun. I don't want, people to be like, oh, you can't do that because it's too fancy, or don't get too excited that you won. It's just a play-in game. It's like, let the athletes be excited. Let the fans be excited. If you're broadcasting the game, act like you're excited, you just have fun with it. That's what it's supposed to all be about. And so, I mean, I have absolutely no problem with any of that. At the same time, I have no problem with somebody checking Trevor Zegras while he's trying to make a lacrosse goal, right? Play better hockey if you don't want him to score, maybe hit him or take him off the puck or something. And with the Wolves thing, it's like Pat Bev, he was playing against his former team. This Wolves team is not a perennial playoff team. It was on home court. The fans are absolutely losing their minds. I have no problem with people getting excited about sports. In fact, I would hope that people get excited about sports. And Jesse, I know you feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, to play devil's advocate here.
Oh, here we go.
Well, I mean, sometimes it can be excessive, right? Sure, right? You haven't won anything yet, right? And frankly, I think when you look at the TNT crew for that Timberwolves situation,
they trolled them so hard.
It was funny though. I thought it was hilarious, right? It didn't warrant Minnesotans, you didn't talk smack about us. Let's go. Didn't warrant the anger, but it's let fans enjoy it. Again, people that are in Minnesota know the trials and tribulations of Minnesota sports. I mean, especially I feel for the Wolves fans who have been true Wolves fans probably through all the crap, through all the crud.
You don't feel bad for me who became a Wolves fan this year.
Wolves, number one Wolves fan this year. Yes. And I'll cheer. I've never scrolled Twitter to find out a Wolves feed because I was at the Wild game, right? So I'm still
times are changing.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if they won. Like I got into it because that's what I freaking love about sports. I just love the way it can bring people together. It's fun. It's exciting. It can give you a heart attack, the anxiety induced. I mean, for somebody that takes anxiety medication, I love the anxiety that sports induces.
Right.
Probably too much, but it's just fun. And I think, you can point to the Minnesota Wild this year as to the fans really buoying this team into the position that they're in, right? They've got most goals scored in a regular season. You've got players like Kirill Kaprizov, Kevin Fiala just busting through records, and the fans deserve that. The state of hockey deserves that. The state of basketball deserves that, right? Like, and I always hate that because you've got your Torontos and Buffaloes of the world. That's like, oh, we deserve it. It's like, but they have wins.
Okay. Buffalo for sure does not deserve it. Toronto I'll maybe consider. Buffalo, absolutely not. So
you're only considering Toronto because your boy, but which is,
I want him to get a cup.
Still just scoring goals. He's still just doing his thing. Like, wow.
I gotta ask Jesse, you put out a tweet about this whole, being excited about sports thing, and you listed things that you should allow fans to be excited about. And one of those things you listed was wave enthusiasts. Are you pro wave? I need to know. Settle the
reason
debate.
I did that for you but it's like, I might jest about it. Like, it's whatever, but like, I'm never going to get mad at people. I don't get mad about it. I'm just like, oh, all right. It's weird. I just think it's a weird thing to do at a hockey game. It just sits out of place.
Whatever.
I'm going to let you celebrate it. I'm not going to do
the wave never hurt nobody.
It
Let
never
us have
did.
the wave.
Next, you're gonna tell us you're a pro towel guy.
Oh yeah,
no
pro t-shirt guy,
Just saying,
towel guy,
towel guy, a t-shirt guy, whatever.
I'm gonna tell a t-shirt guy story, guys, that I need to share with somebody because Dane and t-shirt guy had a confrontation. We should get Dane back on the episode to tell his
the one from a while ago or a new one?
A couple weeks ago.
New
so
one?
they were in the dining hall.
Oh,
and it was a very puff your chest out. So like Dane was like, there was nobody around. I'm so mad nobody could see it. So this t-shirt guy's name is Cameron. And I guess Cameron comes up to Dane. He goes, hey, Dane. And Dane goes, hi, Cameron. And like, it just this passive aggressive exchange happened. And Dane was like, I got your book. And Cameron's like, oh, yeah. And he's like, yeah, it's signed. And he's like, what's it say? And it says, best Cameron. And that was like their exchange. And like Dane, like, he's like, I left and I felt very proud because it was a very like, F you, but said in nice words. So,
oh my God.
Shout out to Dane. We'll get him on to tell this story. That is a rivalry that I want to continue for a lifetime. All right. Yeah. If you guys are not familiar, there's this man at the Wild games who takes off these sweaty t-shirts from his body. He pretends to dance, but he doesn't dance. He like jives his hands.
Yeah.
And in reality, all of us media people don't like him, not only because he has offended our friend Dane. He came up and verbally assaulted him in the press box, but also because the dude makes more money than all of us combined in the press box for one appearance by throwing sweaty t-shirts. So there's a real jealousy.
Dane should stop writing and try to get t-shirt guy's job instead. That would be the ultimate like cherry on top of this whole debacle. Yeah.
So
and true. The beef.
I know. But to see, and now I feel bad because now that goes against everything I wanted to highlight today with the fans having fun. If you guys have fun with t-shirt guy, whatever, I guess. Like, fine.
Enjoy t-shirt guy.
Final comment on the fans. And in segment one, before we get to Meredith, who I also want to celebrate and highlight and buoy up, Ryan Hartman's Venmo as of today, recording Friday, $20,000. Hartman said he's going to throw the fine amount in there, nearing $25,000 donated to the University of Minnesota Children's. Dang, you guys. I usually give the number one banner hanging a rough time, but you're really proving that one. That's how fun.
Yeah, this was a really, really cool story because I've never seen anything like this happen in sports before. And to me, it just like, obviously like Evander Kane is not a very liked person in the NHL. And I even saw like fans of other teams saying like, hey, I don't like Kane either. Here's $10. Like it was.
Dude, his ex-wife tossing 200.
Incredible.
Just...
100%. I'm that petty too. Like if that were me, I would for sure do that. I'd put $500 in the pot, like go off, live your best life. But no, I thought it was really cool. And even cooler what Hartman did, where he's like, hey, I'm going to pay this fine myself, but instead I want to donate this to the community and give back. And the fact that Wild fans doubled down, were like, oh shoot, you're donating, let me give you some more money. Like then they just kept sending him money. I mean, he surpassed what the fine even was by like, I think Thursday morning. So I mean, it was like,
you're going to pay his salary pretty soon. You guys
literally.
Don't forget, he's only 1.7. So.
Yeah,
will this help the cap situation next year?
That's yeah, right.
Question.
You guys want Kevin Fiala start a Venmo?
No, it's just such a cool story. So I mean, props to Ryan Hartman, props to Minnesota Wild fans. You guys really did that. Yeah. And to your point about the banner, Jesse, I was going to put out a tweet like, hey, you guys really earned that #1 banner in the rafters, but I did not want to start any beef because people are sensitive about that. So
I tweeted
instead oh, you did? I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, I did.
Were people mad? I tweeted that we should hang the photo.
No, I said it
Evander Kane flipping him off in the banner, and people like that. So
I got to chat with Evander Kane post game because I do visiting the room first, and then I go into the home. And you know what? He isn't as punchable as I thought he might be. I will say that. Like dude dressed very nice because he was tossed out of the game, right? So he was dressed in street
he had
clothes.
Extra time to get ready. Yeah,
had extra time. But I think what kind of irked me, and it was so funny to hear both sides, because then when I went in and heard Ryan Hartman's side, like, so I hear Kane's side first, and he's like, yeah, they're just lucky that I didn't get loose. The refs held me back, and they're lucky
you were loose for 58 minutes of that game. If you want to do something about it, do something.
And he was like, it took 5 of their guys to take me down. And I just kind of laughed. And I told Russo that when I got into the homeroom, and I was like, yeah, Kane is over there saying like, it took 5 guys and blah, blah, blah. And so then the first thing Hartman says is they didn't have anybody helping him out because nobody likes him. Like, it was just so funny. Like, the tale like of 2 teams. And
yeah, I've decided I want the Wild and the Oilers to meet to the playoffs at some point. So I'm now rooting for that to happen. It would have to be the conference finals, I think.
And you would need like good goaltending and defense, which Edmonton does not have.
Yeah,
God,
well, I'll keep trying. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. So funny. Credit to you guys. Shout out to Ryan Hartman as well, obviously, for doing the right thing. You knew he wasn't going to take your money, and boo the man that tried to be Ryan Hartman with an E and steal money. God, of course. Like, what is wrong with people? It's like, can we have nice things? Is why we can't have nice things.
No, we can't.
Final thing. Obviously, we're recording this a smidge early because 2 big games on tap. Biggest one coming tomorrow, Saturday, against the St. Louis Blues, followed up by an Easter Sunday game against the San Jose Sharks. Kaapo Kähkönen returns. Who knows if he starts, but he's in the building. So there's that. I'm sure we'll see a nice little hiya, how are ya thing up on the board. But St. Louis, Alexis, I don't want to talk about predictions because we'll get into all of that. But right now it looks like St. Louis is going to be the first matchup, whether that's as a 2 seed, or a 3 seed, a 2-3. That's what we're going to call it. Minnesota's in the 2-3. They're in the 2-3. Alexis, how do you feel about the Blues as the odds or favorited matchup here?
I think if there's a team that I wouldn't want to play right now, I would rather not play Nashville than St. Louis. I think the Wild match up better against a team like St. Louis. Nashville, for some reason, like gets the Wild off of their game, and they just like can't recoup from that. That's just the way it seemed when they've played them recently. St. Louis, I really do think the Wild match up well against them, and I think that would be a fun series. So I'm not too concerned about it. And again, I said this a couple weeks ago. Whoever you match up against, you got to beat them to get the next round. So I don't care if it's St. Louis, Nashville, Calgary, whoever you play, go beat them and get into the next round. Yes, there's certain matchups you want because you hope somebody else bounces that team and you don't have to play them. But at the end of the day, you got to beat who you got to beat. And if that ends up being St. Louis on home ice or on their ice, either way, get the job done. That's how I feel.
If it ends up being St. Louis, in fact, are we going to place a bet with Fred?
Oh, should we?
Yeah.
The Beauties versus
we can do a bet on BettorEdge.com, BettorEdge.com. Beat the Butte Tuesdays against Jesse. Don't even play again. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm over it. I hate losing.
No, okay. I do have beef.
I had a dream. I had a dream that you won $400 the other night.
Oh, that would be nice. Maybe next
right.
week.
Right.
I'm mad about Tuesday because I literally crushed it. I had one wrong, and there was like 9 people playing, and you took dead last. How could you do this to me?
That's what I do. I'm either first or I'm last. Literally first or last. That's my only. Those are the only two options for me. Either I win it all, or you all get nothing. You get pennies.
I want $1.25. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Fred, what's gonna be the bet? I'm gonna say you have to pour a beer over your head.
Oh,
That's too easy.
It's disrespectful.
That's just a Saturday night.
Fred's like, I'm doing that tomorrow. What do you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta do a bet.
I don't know. I mean, it could be something bigger than that. I mean, maybe it's one of those, if I win, Jesse has to wear a White Bear jersey and go to like downtown White Bear and say, I love White Bear hockey.
Ew.
Oh, okay.
Ew.
Or we could do, if we win, Fred gives each of us $500. And if we lose, we don't fire Fred next time he's gone. I think that's a fair trade. Fred?
You think I'm made of money, and I'm not.
I like where Alexis's head is at with that one.
Just spitballing ideas here.
Yeah. You hand over your share of the company to Alexis and I, and that's what happens. Seems fair. Or I could wear a jersey, I guess. Either way.
I mean,
we'll work on it. We got time. We got 2 weeks.
We still have to get there, that matchup, but I'm betting I will be shocked if that matchup does not happen, unfortunately. I just now need home ice because whatever. So yeah, we'll suss that bet out. We'll see if we can get it placed on BettorEdge, BETTOREdge.com, where code Beauts, BEAUTS, will get you a free $10. Again, don't forget, Tuesdays, Beat the Beaut. Thursdays, Alexis, Beat the Beaut. It's a good time. We love it. There's more than hockey, but we suggest you get in on the hockey action. When you win that money, you can go put it over at with Royal Credit Union. Less fees, more free is what they say. So shout out to them as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Meredith Lang. Stay tuned.
It's hockey season, baby, and the best way to head into a new season is to be fully equipped with all the merch you need to cheer on your favorite teams. Oh, and some Bardown Beauties merch too, right? Right. We've got you covered. Literally, head over to teespring.com where you can find all kinds of custom designed Bardown Beauties apparel, plus so much more.
Joining us now, one of the most badass women I have ever met in the state of hockey, Miss Meredith Lang. Meredith, what's going on, girl? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. In case you guys have missed it, I've been tweeting it out since it was announced. Meredith is a finalist for the NHL's Willie O'Ree Award. Meredith, tell us a little bit about what that means to you and how you have really impacted the community in hockey here in Minnesota, Richfield and beyond. Tell us a little bit about this award honoring.
Goodness, ever since my oldest daughter, Aubrey, stepped out on the ice at 6 years old, and she's now 13. So past, 8 years or so, it's just been, something that I'm just passionate about is just getting more girls of color in the game, and to be recognized for work that, I just love doing is, pretty phenomenal. And just that Willie O'Ree kind of knows what we're doing here in Minnesota, of all the people that are doing such great work. It's exciting that, he's recognizing us and giving a platform to really grow the game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and most people, everyone should know who Willie O'Ree is, but maybe not everybody knows what the Willie O'Ree Award is. Can you explain to those listening who maybe don't know what that is, what the award is that you're up for?
Yeah, it's the Community Hero Award. So it's for somebody that is making an impact within their community and within hockey. And so, for me, it's just been something that I'm extremely passionate about. And I have two organizations, the Hockey Niñas, and I'm also a co-founder of Minnesota Unbounded, which is a tournament hockey team that the Hockey Niñas play for. And it's started off as 31, girls of color that we're playing. And we have a phenomenal coaching staff of all women of color that are giving back to the youth. And it's just been something that has grown into something that I didn't really even anticipate when Tina and I met. We definitely had a vision of kind of, what we wanted to do, that we wanted to impact the game, but we weren't sure in what capacity. But to be able to now grow to over 50 families and 20 hockey associations in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, it's pretty cool.
I mean, you had mentioned your love for hockey really reignited with Aubrey, and I say reignite because you yourself had actually played. How was hockey so much different when you were playing in high school compared to the hockey that you're making available for your girls and other girls in the area now?
Yeah, I mean, when I played back in the Stone Age, I mean, I was definitely the only girl of color that I really came in contact with. And girls hockey was really just getting started. I mean, when I started in 8th grade, and it was just a girlfriend and I, and, we just had no shame. We were just like, we want to play. The only opportunity to play was boys, and they had been playing forever. They were skating circles around us. We could barely stop. But that didn't deter us from playing because that's what we had set out to do. But then by the time the following year, when I was a freshman, it was a varsity sport. So that just made it way more accessible. It was super cheap. It was, we had a bus, we had practice time, we had coaches. I mean, all these things that we didn't really have the year before. So, and just to see it now that the girls' game has grown so much, is really phenomenal. And that's why I want players of color to get into the game, because it is growing. It is available in every community. And this is a sport that maybe, generationally we haven't played in the Black community or the BIPOC community, but it's a sport that we can pick up and we can really have fun and grow the game and make a difference.
I know the girls particularly love a former Beauties guest, Blake Bolden. I mean, how tremendous is it to have her kind of continue to pave the way first as a player and now with the National Hockey League with the LA Kings and all that she's doing as well. How cool is it for them to continue to witness her do her thing?
Absolutely. I mean, if you can see it, you can be it. And I, acknowledge Blake for really being able to, we always wanted to do more. And we always had this like fire inside of us to do more. But the time that we met Blake, it made it possible. It made it like, okay, we've got somebody. And for us, the big thing is making the game smaller because it is so big and there's so many things to get involved in. But Blake really shrunk the game for us and made us have this connection to the game. And I reached out to Blake because when my daughter was 8 years old, the coach asked, who's your favorite player? The other girls are saying wild players and like things. And my daughter said like some girl on the team. And I was mortified. I was like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? But at that point, it made me realize that there was nobody that she really connected to. And that's why I reached out to Blake and was like, can you help my daughter? My daughter loves you. She, wants to follow in your footsteps. And Blake was phenomenal. We went to a game of hers and we were super obnoxious. We made huge signs for her and we were cheering for her. And she signed a jersey for my daughter. And she just took time to really, talk to the girls about hockey and about her experience and just to really encourage them. And she's just been such a great supporter of my kids, but also our Minnesota Unbounded team. She did a virtual session for our girls and just, they could ask her anything. And she was right there willing to answer. And so now not only are my kids super fans of Blake, but the whole team is. So it's pretty cool. And I do have to say, we do take vacations, kind of like every year. And it was Aubrey's turn to choose her vacation. And she was like, Boston. And I was like, okay, why are we going to Boston? She was like, Boston College. I got to go see where Blake is. So that was our summer vacation, going to Boston College, walking around the campus, trying to find any blank memorabilia we could find.
That's awesome.
She found a picture and she took her picture there. And yeah, it was a whole thing.
Well, we talk a lot when it comes to hockey and making it more inclusive about the professional level, right? Men's and women's professional level and at the college level and the Olympics and all of that. But really it starts at the grassroots level. Like you've been talking about, like we've talked about with Blake Bolden when she was on and lots of other guests. As someone who has witnessed that firsthand, how important is it to not only make those changes at the big level where everybody's eyes are, but all the way at the grassroots level where people are learning the game, learning to respect the game and their opponents and their teammates. How important is that for someone like you who's really seen it and been there firsthand?
Yeah, it's absolutely critical. And I love the big thinking of, on the professional level. And I love all that, but it really does start with this grassroots effort. And every community has a responsibility and every community has their own platform to make their own team inclusive and, feel supported, because the days of the build it, it will come model are of no more. You actually have to go into the community, grab these kids and make it a safe space for them to really love the game and want to stay in the game, because there are a lot of programs that, you know, where you can test hockey and see if you like it. But for me and for Minnesota, it's really a retention piece, is keeping these kids in the game, letting them have positive experiences so that they want to stay in the game and that they want to give back. So what I love about our program is, you know, we might only be 50 families, but we represent 20 associations within Minnesota, and our 20 associations, our kids are going to go back and be the ambassadors and really make the change within the community so that we can continue to grow and it be a positive experience for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And how helpful has Matt Dumba been in those initiatives and those efforts, right? I mean, he's been very vocal. Another former Butte. We love him. We love to see all that he's doing. I know you guys got to meet him too. I was there to witness the girls hanging out with him. Just how great of ambassador has he been on the male side? Because again, women can do the work and they always do, right? We're always working and busting our butts, but you also need the support of the men around you too, to make a difference.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just been such a phenomenal support just system in general for our kids to, again, make hockey smaller for us, because we do have that, you know, personal connection with Matt. You know, he invited us to a practice, you know, in December, and the girls, it was on a Friday, so they got to miss school, and, you know, Matt was inviting them. So, you know, that was a great, the teacher, Matt Dumba, has invited us to practice, so I will have to miss school. And we went there and they just thought it was great just missing school and watching practice. But then Matt came up, he talked to the whole team, and then he personally invited our entire team to the Winter Classic. I mean,
just a day
that happened. And, you know, what better person to get that personal invite to go to the Winter Classic and just, you know, be seen on the largest stage in all of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
What to you, you know, we've talked about a lot of stuff that you've been a part of to change, things that you've witnessed change. What to you makes you the proudest on this journey? Does it have to do with what your kids do? Does it have to do with the advancements that you make? What happens in this journey for you that really makes you proud of the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we don't remember wins and losses. You know, I talk to my kids, they don't remember that. But what they do remember is how they feel. And what I'm most proud of is my community. This is a community effort. This is America's team. They have really rallied behind us and everybody has been willing to step up and show us a different way, because we, you know, when we started, we didn't really know what we were doing. We just knew how to like build relationships and how to work with people. And that's what I'm most proud of, is that no matter who I go to, they're always willing to give me a listening ear, point me in the right direction, help out when they can. And that is definitely the work that I'm absolutely most proud of.
I love it. Before I let you go, I have to ask, do you have a favorite Mighty Ducks movie by chance?
You know, maybe the old D2 Mighty Ducks with the old Trinidad goalie, one of my family members, my younger brother. You know, I just really kind of think back to that and I'm like, is that like where this all came from? Because, you know, it was just crazy to watch this movie in Minnesota, you know, to have my brother be a part of it. And to see this like Trinidadian team that was, you know, represented in hockey. And now here we are 25 years later. And, you know, we have our own Minnesota Unbounded team to really encourage girls of color to play the game. I was foreshadowing, I don't know, but yeah, he's my favorite players.
Did he hold his fame over you at all? Because I know if I was in a movie and my sister wasn't, I would for sure hold that over her for the rest of her life. So has that been a point of contention for you guys?
Most definitely. I mean, I thought I was the actress in the movie, and here he comes, the engineer. I'm like, how does the engineer get a movie part? You know, I was mass communications in college.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go. Is he still collecting residual checks for that? You know, just for his quick appearance? He should, right?
Right. He definitely should. He absolutely should. And just, forward those checks to me.
Yeah, there you go. You could be his agent. You can be like, I'm your new agent. You pay me everything that you get from
yeah.
Absolutely.
Fair. Absolutely.
Well, Meredith,
For
thank you
sure.
again so much for joining us and for all you do. I absolutely love it. You know that. You guys can go vote for Meredith to win the Willie O'Ree Community Hero Award. Go to NHL.com, cast your vote. Let's get her in, get this award again. The impact you're making is just so tremendous from when I met you even a couple years ago to now, how far it's come. I am so proud and I'm excited to see more that you're going to be able to do.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. And Jesse, personal thank you to you for telling our story, because we only do so much, but the people that amplify our message like you have been an amazing partnership. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Seriously.
Love it. Well, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is producer Fred. I just want to ask everyone to go out there and spread the word about Bardown Beauties. Leave us a like, share, thumbs up, review, you name it, we want to hear from you. Find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course, your favorite podcast app.
We're back. Shout out again to Meredith. She's been doing so much. I got to do a story on her about 5 years ago when she had started Hockey Ninas before Minnesota Unbounded. And her girls are so great too, Aubrey and Mia. Just really exciting. Voting closed yesterday. So keep an eye out though. We'll see what she did. Hopefully you guys got your votes in over the weekend because she's certainly worthy of it, as are the other two finalists. You love people that are making impacts in their community. So thanks to Meredith, and be sure to check out Minnesota Unbounded and the Hockey Ninas as well and see what you can do to get involved in diversifying hockey. Let's go into Up for Debate. Alexis, this week you asked, not in comparison to the Minnesota Wild, but just in general, which team, as you just now put it, a word that you probably made up that we're not sure of.
I didn't make it up, I swear.
Go ahead. Tell people how you just phrased it to Fred and I this Up for Debate.
So the Up for Debate was, which team in the West is a paper tiger? St. Louis, Colorado, or Calgary? And Jesse and Fred said they've never heard the phrase paper tiger before.
And we're old. We've been around. All right. This is not a thing.
So they're asking me to explain it. And now I need you guys to let us know if you've heard it, because now I'm like guessing everything I've ever known in my life ever. But paper tiger, how I've heard it described, is like a team that looks scarier on paper, like stats wise, than like what they actually are in true competition. So basically, in other words, which team do you think is, in a good standing right now, but maybe won't go far in the playoffs, is I guess all that I'm saying. And not in comparison to the Wild, just in general, which team do you think isn't as scary as they look? Jesse, do you, between those three teams, does one of them stand out as maybe not as tough a competition as people think right now?
Still trying to wrap my head around the paper tiger, but yeah, I'm thinking of like an origami way that I can make you a paper tiger for the next time I see you. I'm between
or none of them. Maybe none of them are.
No, I mean, I think the Flames look scarier than they are, but I'm also going to say the unpopular. I think the Avs sometimes look scarier than they can be. Darcy Kemper certainly has turned it up. I know everybody's been hard on him, saying that's their crux. I'm not as intimidated by the Avs, I think, as Minnesota Wild fans are. I just am not. The Flames, similarly, I think they're crushing it. I haven't seen a whole lot. Obviously, you go back to the two games you saw against Minnesota, didn't look great, but those are my two. It's hard for me to choose just one, so I want to choose, because I think they're very similar in the way that they play, in their goal score. I mean, those are hot offenses, and that's kind of it. I mean, aside from Cale Makar and for Colorado for the defense, I feel those two are my paper tigers. Plus the Flames are paper tiger colors. So there you go.
Okay. That's fair. Good reasoning.
Thank you.
I'm going to go with Colorado. I tweeted this like a week or so ago. I said they're the hot girl with no personality. And
also not a thing people say.
Yes, they do. You're lying now. You're just lying. No, for me, Colorado, they're a very good team. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, they have surged to the top of the Central Division. They just last night with their win got the most, I think, points or wins in their history. So they're a very good hockey team, and I'm not trying to deny that. But to me, in playoff hockey, the teams that I think survive the most are the ones who are able to be versatile and mold to their surroundings, mold to their opponent and shift their game. I think when you're stubborn with your style of hockey and say either, hey, we're a team about speed or we're a team about grit, and you don't change that over the course of the playoffs to adjust to any given game or opponent, I think those teams struggle. And to me, the Colorado Avalanche are one of those teams where they are a team about speed and scoring, and they don't have a backup game plan. So if you can throw them off their game, if you can make them play your kind of hockey, they struggle with that. They don't like to, and they're a kind of team who gets frustrated when they can't play the kind of hockey that they like, and you can throw them off their game. And so I think that when the Flames are playing their best hockey and they make other teams play like them, they're very hard to beat. But if you can make them play your hockey, the Flames struggle, or the Avs struggle with that, excuse me. So I really think, to me, the Avs of the three are the biggest paper tiger. But again, it depends on the opponent, depends on a lot of things, but that's what I would say. I agree with you, Jesse. I think they scare me a lot less than some of the other teams in the West right now.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. What do you guys think? What was the fans' reaction?
I think, I don't even remember. There was a few people who said, I think Flames and Avs were the most voted for, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people who actually agree with us, Jesse, from what I've seen, at least in the last few weeks.
You guys are learning. We know our shit.
A lot of people think the Avs are maybe not as scary. So we'll see. We might be eating our words in 2 weeks, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Again, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you to everybody for checking us out. Shout out to Talk North for featuring us on their network. Big props to BettorEdge, BettorEdge.com, free $10 with code BEAUTS, BEAUTS. Shout out to SotaStick. They came out with another new shirt. They're always crushing those tees. Go get your Ryan Hartman bird shirt over at SotaStick.com. 15% off when you use code Bardown Beauties. Again, that's code Bardown Beauties for 15% off all purchases. Shout out to Royal Credit Union, less fee, more free, and also to Jim Beam. Here's to you, here's to me. That's going to do it. Leave us a rating, share us with your friends, drop a comment in the comments. We're always trying to respond and interact with you guys with the good comments. Some of your comments, guys, come on.
Boo, tomato, tomato.
Boo, tomato, tomato.
Tomato, tomato.
That's what it is, whatever. Anyway, that's going to do it for this week's episode. Have a good one.